Okay, this is the, we're going to call the meeting to order. It's the monthly Board of Directors meeting of the Virginia-Highland Civic Association. Welcome. The board members have an agenda in front of them. May I have a motion for adoption, approval and adoption?
Motion to adopt.
Second? Is there a second?
Second.
Without objection, any comments? Without objection, it is so ordered. The same for the minutes which were distributed. Any of those in front? You have a motion to approve? So moved. Is there a second and seconded? Second. Any comments? Without objection, they are adopted. We'll move on to our reports from the police and fire representatives, the officers Claude and Parker from Zone 6 here tonight. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks.
The floor is yours.
Unfortunately, Sergeant Sins was scheduled to be here today, but had another commitment, so we really don't have much to share with y'all other than, as you know, school's out, which always means there's going to be an uptick in crime. Over the past couple of weeks, there has been an increase in armed robberies. None in y'all's area, but definitely in Little Five Points and around Boulevard. Same goes with the car break-ins and car thefts. Just keep in mind that when school gets out, first month or so of the summer, it's always crime seems to increase. So be on your P's and Q's. Somebody asks you to use your iPhone. Don't try to be nice and let the young kid use your iPhone because it's going to run. Don't leave valuables in your car. Don't leave your laptops out in the back seat. Most of the stuff, I'm sure most of y'all have lived here long enough to understand how the crime will go up and down, and though we don't like to blame a victim, don't make yourself a victim by being trusting of other people. If you don't know them, if you don't know them as your neighbor, be leery of them. If you have any questions or anything, of course, we'll be glad to address them. And again, I apologize, we don't have any facts and figures to share with you tonight. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any reports or anything with the, I think, Soapbox Derby that was at Piedmont Park this weekend, and any major issues with that?
I've heard no issues on that at all. No, ma'am.
Gentlemen, thank you for coming. We appreciate seeing you. We appreciate you taking the time to come over here.
Also, to piggyback off of what he said, in this area, we also have a lot of detailed units that are in unmarked cars and a little bit more patrol in the area to actually cut back on a lot of these break-ins as well, to put your mind at ease. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
I mean, the major is, as you know, we got a new Major Meadows, and he is making some major changes throughout the zone and how people are patrolling and different detail units. So he's well aware of what's going on, and he's trying to combat it in a different manner than Major Dalton would have, and hopefully we'll be more successful with it.
Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Good luck out there. Be safe.
All right, thank you, sir.
We actually have as a guest here today from our person who hosts us really every month, whether we know it or not, which is Bill Monroe from the Atlanta Fulton Public Library, the director of this branch. And Bill had asked for a chance to report to the board on what this branch had done with the grants that we gave in last fall, and we'd certainly be very glad to hear that report, Bill. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, as always, thank you very much from everyone. The support that Virginia-Highlands gives to the library just about annually. I can't think of a time when you haven't given us something one year or another. This year, I have my report ready. This year, we emphasized we decided to put everything towards one effort to make an impact. And this year, we made an impact by switching our movie collection from both DVDs and VHS and to all DVDs. We're now one of the libraries that have more DVDs than just about any other library in the library system. Y'all helped us buy over 200 DVDs this year with the $2,000 that you allocated to us. Okay, and if you do the quick math, you think to yourself, we did a heck of a lot of buying with a very generous donation that you gave us. But it's one of those things that I also want to emphasize and appreciate to y'all what you've done by allowing us to use the money directly without going, should we say, through the bureaucracy of Fulton County buying, purchasing agents' efforts. We're able to, we're not saying anything wrong with Fulton County. They send me a paycheck. But we're able to go to Blockbusters when they were closing up and say, oh, this is nice, we'll buy one of these, one of these, one of these, real cheap. We're able to go into Target and all the $5, and we did, and to Amazon, and get, and y'all did that and enabled us, and we thank you very much. The other thing you did a whole lot of is provide programming. Programming such as the programs coming up Thursday, the Counting Sheep Craft, and Saturday, Fiddlin' Dan, the music man, coming down from the Georgia mountains to fiddle and play music for the kids here in the library this Saturday afternoon. And you've done a bunch of stuff all through the year. You're aware that the Inman Middle School has a photography club, and they have an annual show here at the library every May. Their photos are in the show, and of course, there's a reception. You buy a heck of a lot of popcorn, potato chips, and really gross, sugary junk food that the kids eat up almost before the parents get here to see the photos and everything else. And it's the little things like that that you enable us to do those things. This year, those are sort of the features. You bought over 200 DVDs, and you've been buying programs all through the year. And I don't want to make it all frivolous, because you also brought the guy in who goes around and talks about, in this past spring, he came in and did the program about how to write the college application essay, and all of us probably had to go through that at one time or another and know how we dreaded it and anticipated it. And this guy comes in and gives the kids tips, outlines, professional help on how to write the essay well. And he's not real cheap, but when we have a couple of bucks from a wonderful organization to be able to hire someone like that, we do so. This year you are buying a number of programs, and I'll just mention very briefly in closing. You're helping out on the list of programs in the center of our folder here on the Children's Summer Reading, Dream Big, Read. You're also helping out with a list of programs on the back of our flyer for the young adult programs, the young adult summer reading program, which is called Own the Night. And just so you don't feel out, this year, the adult summer reading program, this is the first year we're running an adult summer reading program. We don't have much in the way of programs for the adults because we were sort of wondering how this is going to go over, but of course, you like the name of this one, and you notice we're having sort of a nocturnal theme of Dream Big, Own the Night, and of course, the adult one is Between the Covers, summer reading for adults. And you can pick up your folders for any of these. And again, the main thing I want to say is for all the years you have supported us, thank you very much. Of course, this is a pitch to help you remind you that you want to do that again. And we know the Summerfest went off really, really well. I was up working the Top Fest Saturday morning, and talk about a hoot and a half. But I shouldn't tell you that because I'll be competing. We got aced out on selling T-shirts this year. We couldn't. My wife and I volunteer each year, and we couldn't get into that. So I'm not going to tell you what fun the Top Fest was. It was really awful, and really bad. But, so we'll be able to volunteer next year. Jim Kuntz and his wife Nancy were running it and did a great job. We just had a lot of fun. And I'll not detain you any longer. And thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any questions for anything that I presented? And again, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Because,
Okay.
I mean, it's not just this, it's the planning committee meeting 20 nights a week. And Bill, 20 nights a year, that makes it. And Bill, some folks may realize the library is now, due to budget cuts, closing at 6. And Bill has more than once hung around here till 7 to make sure we can get in the library when we can't get up in time. And very much appreciate your support. It's a big part of the community.
No problem. My pleasure.
Thanks very much.
Have a good one. I'm going to lock you all in now. You still can get to the bathrooms and everything, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Do we have any city that, well, first of all, Major Meadows, welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I want to start out by apologizing for being late. We have 4 community meetings tonight. I'm trying to make every single one of them before the night. So I know 2 of my officers just left, but I just wanted to stop by to see if you all had any concerns for me or any issues that I can address for you.
Well, your sergeant told us you're doing some unmarked car patrols and gave us some information of a slight uptick in adult robbery, armed robbery, which we had one of ourselves.
Right.
A couple right after the night after Summerfest ended. So any luck in catching that?
Right
I read about those down the block. It seems like the same
Right.
descriptions of folks.
We have, we've actually made 3 arrests from a little further down Ponce, and the physical description is fairly consistent. And what I'm asking our investigators to do is to put those individuals in lineup so that we can see if we can get a positive identification. But I'm pretty hopeful about the direction of those investigations. I don't know if you've noticed lately, but I've asked my officers, they've been riding around the Virginia-Highland just with their blue lights on, and we're doing that in an effort to increase visibility. One of the locations that we found that our perpetrators are coming from that are committing these robberies and so forth, it's not near this area, but what we're doing is we're attacking them there at the apartment complex, and hopefully as we come through with the lights and the visibility, that will deter them from coming into the area as we're going into their areas. But we're mindful of where they're coming from, so hopefully we'll be able to. We haven't had any more since those 2 the other day, so hopefully that won't occur again. Is anybody here from 734 North Highland? I know there's been some issues about fire set in the dumpster behind the church there.
We're going to try to meet with the church there and try to see if we can.
I spoke to a couple of the complainants about that, and one of the things that I've asked them to do while we're riding around with the blue lights on, there's a little alley that goes between 734 and 752. I drove it myself today. And so I'm asking them to drive back through there, maybe about 3 or 4 times throughout the night. And if they find people back there, just to kind of run them off. Because it's my understanding they're going to the church. Is that right?
It's a little unclear, but they're, in any case, the folks in the colonnade condos would very much appreciate the patrol as often and as frequently as possible. And it doesn't take long to go down there, and it might have an outside impact. Ms. Guy, you have a question?
I know one of my friends lives there, and she had reached out to me to try to connect with FBAC and you guys, and she's spoken with John Wilkerson too. So one thing that he suggested to them was that they don't have a block captain for their unit, so he suggested that they organize a little bit with themselves so that we could help partner with them a little bit stronger.
Was that Ms. Stanberry?
No, it's Stephanie Parker.
Okay, I tried to call Stephanie a little bit earlier today, but I wasn't able to reach her. But I spoke with Ms. Stanberry just a little while ago. I know that they have been communicating back and forth with John. So hopefully we'll go through there, and we're going to try to have some dialogue with the church. It might be a little more powerful if we get some community involvement in those discussions. So hopefully that'll happen.
We actually know some of the folks at the church, and we'd be glad to. It's a good church, hardworking. We'd be glad to try to work on that.
That would be great. That would be great.
Nice folks.
Yes. Major question. Right at the corner of Virginia and North Highland there, the Yale Burger restaurant, in the back, for the past couple of nights, there have been cars there with the blue lights going pretty consistently. I wondered, are you looking for people back there?
Well, I've asked them to go behind a lot of the businesses with the blue lights on. I was riding through with my blue lights on, and people were just kind of looking at me like I'm crazy. But, you know, really, we're trying to increase the visibility to keep folks out. And we've noticed that that's cut down on the undesirable traffic a little bit. I'm picking and choosing my words there a little bit, but
Thank you.
All right.
Any other questions from Major Meadows? Thank you for coming by.
Thank you all so much.
Very much appreciate it. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Do we have any City of Atlanta officials here that I want to recommend? We'll move on to either elected officials or representatives of elected officials. Do we have anyone to just introduce yourself? There's no campaigning in the meetings, but very welcome to introduce yourself and mention whom you're here on behalf of. Matt, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Matt Close. I live in Sylvan Hills, and I'm here on behalf of State Representative Long. Yes, he had to be somewhere else this evening, but we did want to have somebody here representing him. We are in the midst of election season, July 31 vote. So there's a primary vote for that seat. There will also be a T-SPLOST transportation initiative on the ballot this year. And if you're a Republican voter, there will be an opportunity to vote in a non-binding referendum on ethics reform, which went nowhere this past session. And since we're probably a bit light on Republicans here.
Actually, we really don't go down that road, Matt. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. So people need to voice some concern about ethics moving on to the next legislative session. So
Thank you very much for coming and greetings, Representative Long. Anybody else? I don't, yes, sir. Oh.